If you're using React Server Components or any framework that implements React Server Components like Next.js, you need to watch this. There has been a security vulnerability in React Server Components issued on December 3rd by the React team that recommends updating your React version to the latest patch or release to get the security updates. Now, this affects any React application that's using React Server Components or framework that implements React Server Components, again, like Next.js. More specifically, though, it's affecting or it's because of React Server functions. Server actions or server functions are functions that allow client components to call asynchronous functions on the server. Anytime you create a server function using the useServer directive, the framework is going to create a reference to a server function and pass that to a client component. The client can then execute that by sending a request back to the server and including a payload with that request. And this is where this vulnerability happens. Now, even if you're not using server functions or server actions in your application, you might still be vulnerable if you're using server components. So it is recommended that you update to the latest patch to get this release for this security update. Now, if you're using a framework like Next.js that implements React Server Components, you might also want to look into your specific framework for the updates. Now, if you're using Next.js 15, 16, or the Canary version of Next.js 14 that was using React Server Components, you need to get the updates to mitigate any risks. But if you're using any other version of Next.js, the pages router, or the stable version of Next.js 14, you're not affected by this vulnerability. There's a list of all the patch releases and the versions and how you would go about updating this. I'm going to include these links in the caption so you can review on your own. I would recommend updating your Next.js version and also your React version. And stay tuned on any other upcoming update on this vulnerability. At this point, we don't know much more details about the specifics of this vulnerability, but I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, like always, hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.